Hello and welcome to Headway Q&A. This is the place where we'll be getting to the bottom of questions we all have about turning our current coaching practices to thrive in business. Each week, I will be taking one question from Headway community and offering solutions that help each and every one of us build the business and coaching skills we need to for our practices to succeed. Today, the question I want to talk about is a topic I hear often from Headway students and coaching circle members. What can we do to embrace high level of uncertainty so we can make that change from being full-time employees to full-time self-employed? Well, I've got 5 easy practices you could do now to become more comfortable with uncertainty in your life. But first, let's get clear what uncertainty actually is. What is it, uncertainty? How is it perceived? We can arrive to better understanding if we spend some time and analyze how we create certainty in our lives. Every time when we create a habit, we become more comfortable. The world around us becomes, actually we think it becomes, more predictable, more certain. We drive the same routes, we take the same bus, we go to familiar certain places, and of course we know what to expect there, what meal to order, right? So we literally create certainty by forming habits. Actually, there are other ways we use to create certainty, but I don't want to load you right now with a theory and complicate today's topic. But uncertainty, in contrast to certainty, uncertainty is not knowing, not being able to predict, having various multiple outcomes. In other words, variety of new, not planned, not familiar. Now, the question is how we can train our ability to meet and eventually learn to enjoy uncertainty. We need to retrain our brains, to introduce a new frame how to look at those things, to adopt a new structure so we can make change in a planned and controllable manner. And it doesn't really matter, be it the change to self-employment or any other kind of change. So, as I promised, I've got 5 things you could do now to prepare your brain to become more comfortable with uncertainty. First, make a plan to visit new places. Cafe, bar, restaurant, theater, park, picnic, beach, places to travel. Second, when you make a plan how to get to any point of your interest, please take into consideration not just the most comfortable or the most fastest way, but also the possibility to see new places, to stop and look around, sightseeing, possibility to notice something which you probably like or dislike, variety of new, not planned, remember? Third, to visit old places, please use different routes or different means of transportation. For example, is it possible to walk there? Is it possible to use bike instead of car or any public transportation? Is it possible to use bus instead of subway, for example? Fourth, here we come to behaviors. I call it level 1, behaviors without change of your attitude. Let me ask you a question. What is the very first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Think about it. Choose any other thing and starting from tomorrow, do it instead. And I'm not talking here about some big changes, like running in the morning or going to fitness, for example, because big changes might require change of your attitude. The smaller the change, the better. What if you have a glass of water? in the morning, the first thing? Or, for example, what if you decide to brush your teeth using left hand instead of right? Or wearing just one slipper instead of two? It doesn't matter what change you decided to implement. The idea is to train your ability for change. We need that ability in order to destroy our boring, fixed, predictable, familiar world which we created through our habits. Congratulations! Finally, fifth step, level 2 behaviors, which require change of your attitude. After you do regular first 4 steps, which I described earlier, you will be ready for major changes. Changes which might require a shift of your attitude. Usually changes related to our eating habits, habits towards other people, towards exercises, towards lifestyle are considered to be difficult to implement. Actually, in my opinion, it's not entirely true. The secret is simple. Those changes require more energy. They require higher awareness. After proper training with the first 4 steps, you will increase your muscle for change. You'll be able to do things you couldn't do before and do it easily. You'll be different, more flexible in your behaviors, in your decisions, less predictable. You will live in less predictable, less certain, magical world where lots of things might happen. And I promise you, your thriving coaching business could very well be one of those things. Practicing comfort in uncertainty with these 5 easy practices will bring new things into our lives. Our brains will make new connections, new maps of the world. Our world expands and becomes less familiar, less certain. And this is just the beginning. Over time, we will form amazing breakthrough habits which very powerfully increase uncertainty in our lives, helping us to embrace life less controllable, less planned, full of surprises, all of which is the path we need to be on to be owners of our own businesses. So, now I'm really curious. I would like to know, how badly do you want to make a step towards your dream? What are you willing to do to step out of your familiar routine into unknown? What is your commitment to turn your current coaching practice into a thriving business? Please join in the discussion in the comments below, or send in your coaching resolution over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter with the hashtag CoachRez. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for the next edition of our weekly Headway Q&A.